The question is, how do we go from that place, from 401k, to freedom? How do we find ourselves, find our money, and then fund our future in a way that gives us ultimate freedom?
I'm Lonzy Green, affectionately known as Mr. Flip Your 401k. I help people build holistic financial strategies using their retirement plan, their cash value life insurance to pay off debt, become investors, get paid for life, and retire comfortably. Welcome to From 401k to Freedom.
So, what is from 401k to freedom? In short, it's a journey. Now, that journey has three paths. We'll start with the employee journey. The employee loves their job and they don't mind working there for the rest of their life. And there's nothing wrong with that. But in the meantime, there's still concerns in that employee's mind. They're concerned about whether or not the money that they're making is truly building in a way that when they're ready to retire, they'll have enough to live off of. So going from 401k to freedom is their journey in that way. Then you have the entrepreneur, the person that is actually employed right now, but they see freedom as breaking free from the corporate structure in order to be able to pursue their dreams by starting a business or becoming a full-time investor. But in order to do that, there's some things that they have to do to put themselves in the position to achieve that. So that's the entrepreneurial path. And then you have someone who's an employed entrepreneur. And from 401k to freedom looks like this path. It looks like working in my job, making good money, but also doing things outside of my job in order to create passive streams of income. So from 401k to freedom looks different for different people. From 401k is actually a literal and metaphorical example. Let's talk about what from 401k means. If you think about the 401k, and if you dig deep into the history and the design, we'll find that there are a lot of restrictions and limitations on those plans. What do I mean by restrictions and limitations? I mean, as soon as you put money in that plan, someone else governs how you use that money, when you can take it, how much you can take, and for how long. If you don't believe me, go take a look at your plan design. For example, if you want to take a withdrawal from out of the account, you're going to be taxed. And depending on your age, you're going to be penalized on top of that. Then, if you want to borrow, you can only borrow a certain amount for a certain length of time. That's not freedom. Those are restrictions and limitations. As employees, not only are there restrictions and limitations on where we put our money, there's restrictions and limitations on ourselves. And so that's what from 401k is. It is the representation of the restrictions and the limitations that we put on ourselves as employees, but also that we put on our money. So the question is, how do we go from that place, from 401k, to freedom? How do we find ourselves, find our money, and then fund our future in a way that gives us ultimate freedom?